Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she's never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, because they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentleman.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have been required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive whether he can issue President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
That
you
would be a
can't?
gross abuse.
Well, hey guys, I'll just start in a couple minutes. I hit the wrong button. So here we go. Give me a minute here.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of on time. Had a little technical difficulty because I pressed the wrong button, but I fixed that by just improvising. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where sometimes things aren't perfect, but you just love the things that are happening. You know what I mean? Bondi, Pam Bondi's doing some work. That's the breaking news from later yesterday after the show. We'll get into that and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm still opening tabs as I sit here, trying to, what the hell did I do there? Oh, that's weird. That shouldn't be there. Cause I wasn't done, looking around the old internets but I need to get the show started. So here I am. And, there's plenty on the docket though. And obviously you can always go to the Ace of Spades, aggregator, which I'm putting into the links every day now. So we'll just live with that. How about that? All right, here we go. First in the chat, of course, today is Mr. Avocados W gets the vote. Yeah. By the way, today's coffee cup is from the Colorado Railroad Museum. That's we went there, not this time, but the last time we were in Colorado. Also, good morning, Resolute Germ, Kara Soldier, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also, Spidey Man's in the house. Welcome back. K-Shell's here. Anon, 1, 2, 3. Also, good morning. Willie won't. Your phone speaker broke. What? What's going on? No, your phone speaker didn't break. My internet foibles broke. Johnny Boomer Tech, I'll blame it on him. Unit 731's in the house. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. Gunfox 61, the administrator of the P-Dog Night Discord server. Plague Trucker Zach. Green Badger Outdoors. Tire. Alexander. The Scourge. Oops. And of course, Somnambule Nation. What's up? Good morning. And thank you to the people who are tweeting out the show. Let me see who's doing that. I know there's some of you doing it because I see my notifications are going wild, which means, did I press the wrong one? I hope not. No, I did. No, that's good. There we go. Okay, we're good. All right. The notifications are going wild. Thank you, Resolute Germ, with a big let's go. Oops, it's this. There we go. There's a let's go. A little Mario and Luigi doing their thing. Also, thank you. Somnambule Nation, as always, tweets out the show and drops a let's go. Who is that? I don't even know who that is, but that's pretty cool. And also, thank you for retweeting my tweet of the show. Somnambule Nation, K-Shell, and Resolute Germ. Also, let's see, Mac Wolf, a.k.a. Gunfox 61, dropping an article. Hundreds of foreigners freed from Myanmar scam centers. Oh, well, we'll check that article out too. Also, thank you, Donkey Punch. Wait, Don K Punch Meme Squatch. So that's memes. Who's is that? That's not Donkey Punch Bandit. I don't know. Oh yeah, I was looking for a story on Munich too, so I will use that one too, Gunfox, because that's in my list today. So anyway, thanks for everyone who's doing that. If you can click that link at the top of the chat and reply to that tweet or post or whatever you call that now on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, just with a let's go. That'd be great. Drop a meme, drop a GIF, whatever, something funny. Funny things catch people's eyes. So there you go. It's called Burma. What? Oh, Myanmar, Burma. Whatever. It's called the Gulf of America too, and people say Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. I personally, I think that's a silly fight that's going on about the Gulf of Mexico and the Gulf of America. That's one of those things where I go, is that just Donald Trump doing the jackass thing, or is there a more important thing to do that? And I think it has to do something with the drilling ban. If you can't drill in the Gulf of America, change the name of the Gulf of America. Excuse me, can't drill in the Gulf of Mexico, change the name to the Gulf. I can't even talk. Change the name to Gulf of Mexico.
China is asshole
for no reason. Okay, so, good morning. Also, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, His name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the people all shout, singing John Jacob Ingleheimer Schmidt. La 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 la. Is it a gulf or a bay? That's a good question. Well, I think it's too big for a bay. I think it must be a gulf. It's a gulf. Or something like that. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, also someone named Tyron Sander retweeted the show. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on. I didn't really, well, let's see. Let's find a holiday. Doggone it. Holiday calendar. What is today? What's the holiday? It's Kiss Day. How about that? And I don't mean like the guys who put on makeup and play loud music. It's time to pucker up and celebrate Kiss Day. Look, I'm just gonna just put this up here every day now. It's time to pucker up and celebrate Kiss Day with your loved ones. Spread love and affection. You might be spreading some other shit too. Sweet kisses all day long. And our Galentine's Day. This is for the loser ladies. Gather your gal pals and celebrate Galentine's Day. It's a perfect time to show your friends how much you appreciate them. That's gay. I shouldn't have said that. That's bad. Good morning. Nomad's in the house. What's up? It's been a minute. It's been a minute, Nomad. Nice to have you here. Did I miss anybody, by the way? Tyler F. Hi, I see you. Okay, I got you. Self-Love Day. Oh, we got Galentine's Day and Self-Love Day. This is for all the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Eleanor Rigby's in the church where the message will be. Get a different name day. Black Love Day. Oh, yeah. A little black love. You know how it is. National Crab Rangoon Day, National Cheddar Day, not the kind of cheddar that you put in your wallet. National Tortellini Day, National International Friends Day. Holy shit, there's a lot of stuff going on today. Everything getting ready for Valentine's Day. Oh, it's International Condom Day too. So wherever they sent that 50 million or $1 billion worth of condoms, or million, I don't know, they can celebrate. Safer Internet Day, Desperation Day. Again, because Valentine's Day and Desperation Day. There's a few more. All right, there you go. That's the special days today. Let's also, though, trending in the days theme. Well, no, let me get this breaking news first. The important news, because I'm going to get to that right now. So, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. By the way, if you haven't done your thing for Valentine's Day, or gotten ready or prepared. If you do that, Lady Boomer and I don't do that. By the way, the reason Lady and I Boomer don't do this Valentine's Day thing is because our anniversary is on the 22nd of February. So we're like, we're not going to do this Valentine's Day. Good morning, Mrs. Wildwolf, by the way. We don't do the Valentine's Day thing. Because our anniversary comes up 8 days later. And so now if you want to contribute to the Valentine's Day fund, or not the 32nd anniversary of Marty and Lady Boomer, you can drop a couple bucks in the tip jar. There you go. So let's see. Oh, and tomorrow's Gunfox's mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mama Gunfox. There you go. So we do a birthday. There you go. Perfect. All right. But anyway, Valentine's Day tomorrow. And I don't know what my friend Hotep Goldstein's doing here. But that's kind of a funny image. And Hotep Jesus, the Hoteps are out in the forest today. Fellas, if you get roses the day after Valentine's Day, they're half price. If you get the roses the day after Valentine's Day, they're half price. Well, yeah, sure they are. And since Lady Boomer and I don't do Valentine's Day, and someone here says, if you're sad about being alone on Valentine's Day, just remember, nobody loves you on any other day of the year either. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Okay, that's getting a bookmark because I got to use that for something else. I might even actually. That's like, have you ever seen? Let's see, I'll put that under videos for reaction. There you go. that reminds me. There's an Instagram channel of it's like called Really Bad Affirmations, and it has all kinds of stuff like that. So that's hilarious. But there you go. That's a Valentine's Day. That's better than chocolate by far. Boy, oh boy, I might have to grab some steaks for next week. Anyway, all right, moving on. Let's get into the big news. So Pam Bondi, the new Attorney General of the United States of America, made a huge announcement yesterday regarding illegal immigration and certain sanctuary cities, sanctuary state. And here's one clip of it from what's this called? The National Pulse. Let's just hear her words.
We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today.
So, obviously, that's a big topic as you go through X, the app formerly known as Twitter. So here's her post on this. Proud to announce new litigation against the state of New York for prioritizing illegal aliens over American citizens. This is a new DOJ. If you're not complying with federal law, you are next. Now, there are people out there probably going to be really, really upset about this. So we saw that clip breaking. Pam Bondi announces that DOJ filed charges against the state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul, Attorney General Letitia James, and DMV Commissioner Mark Schroeder. And I'm trying to get some details on this. But part of it is because these are places that have decided, Letitia, these are places that have decided that they are going to fight against deporting illegal aliens, defying ICE. Some people have been tipping off locations where ICE might be showing up. And good morning, Anna Lynn, by the way. So a lot of people post about this. Bridget Gabriel, if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois, strike one. Strike two is New York. If you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next. Get ready. I mean, what else can you say about that? There's an image of Kathy Hochul, whatever, in a orange suit. So apparently they also did this to Illinois. Let's see. The New York State forced DMV employees to. Here's part of it too. The New York State forced DMV employees to give illegal aliens driver license without vetting their documents. DMV employees expressed their feelings about this, saying they felt uncomfortable because they had no way of verifying the documents. Democrats didn't care. They put Americans at risk, and someone says they belong in prison. And someone here adds, California still has 8 million drivers who haven't received a real ID. The only reason you need one is to fly, and they have pushed that requirement out until May 2025. Otherwise, anyone could get a standard driver's license in California without any proof of citizenship. So we're giving people who are here in the country illegally driver's license and all that stuff is a problem. So obviously we've got more Pam Bondi, but now here's the problem. Democrats are going to be howling, obviously, over this, especially with adding Letitia James to the list of people that are within the that are being sued by the United States government. And it's going to be interesting, I guess, to see how the courts deal with this, because there are specific laws that you cannot obstruct federal immigration enforcement, and some of these states, cities, attorney generals, whatever, are, they're defying the law. And in fact, I got to find this one article that I saw here. There's a group of states. Where is it here? There's a group of states that have banded together specifically to defy federal law when it comes to the immigration thing. I don't think I can find the article. I didn't open this one. I probably should have. Where is it? Oh, here it is. And this is, here's the article. So it's not just for that, but just basically the anti-Trump resistance effort. So here we go. 22 blue states joined a secret anti-Trump resistance pact. Now, this is amazing. Hello, Kevin S. And number one, states attorneys general of nearly half the country have signed a secret resistance pact against a key facet of President Donald Trump's immigration policy, according to the Heritage Foundation's oversight project. All of the things in the world they could have picked: gas, groceries, protecting minorities, making sure kids can get their genitals chopped off, whatever else they claim is their top priority. Instead, it's birthright citizenship. Mike Howell, executive director of the Oversight Project, told the Federalist. And it shows that the border policies were always political. 22 top attorneys in Democrat states, along with lead attorneys of San Francisco and Washington, D.C., signed a common interest agreement beginning on November 8th, just 3 days after Trump defeated former Vice President Kamala Harris in a landslide victory. It's not a landslide. I wish they'd stop saying that. It's not a landslide victory. It's certainly a red wave victory, but it's not a landslide victory. I wish they'd stop using that term. Definitely a red wave though, because Kamala Harris didn't change over a single county in the country. We gained the Senate and we kept the House. That's a red wave. It's not a landslide, but it's definitely a wave. Hello, Darren Root. So anyway, the pact took effect November 14th. Blue states signed resistance agreement, obtained birthright citizenship. The parties have agreed that they have a common interest in developing potential litigation to challenge executive action relating to ending or curtailing birthright citizenship, the pact reads. Trump signed an executive order on his first day of office protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship in order to direct the federal government not to recognize birthright citizenship as granting citizenship to everyone born in America. The 14th Amendment has always excluded from birthright citizenships persons who were born in the United States but not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, which is part of the clause. And again, it doesn't say or, it says and. So born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. An illegal alien is not subject to the jurisdiction thereof because they're not in the country legally. The attorneys generals of California, Colorado, Connecticut, D.C., Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Massachusetts, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, Nevada, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington, New Mexico, Wisconsin, Maine, and North Carolina, along with the Deputy Attorney General of Arizona and the City Attorney of San Francisco, agreed to resist any executive measure limiting birthright citizenship. And I'm sure they're also resisting any measures to remove illegal aliens from the country. And several cities have said they are forbidding their police officers, their state patrols, or whatever to assist. They're resisting the prison systems. So Pam Bondi says, enough. Stop breaking the law, asshole. And anyone who facilitates or causes resistance to federal law in this manner, it's written into the law that they are subject to, new accommodations. Let's put it that way. So this is going to be really, really interesting to see how this goes. Yes, resist we much. Here it is. Where's that? I have that one actually.
Resist we much.
So, yeah, and good folks, I don't think we end birthright citizenship, but we certainly can end it for people who never bothered to come into this country illegally. Again, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So if you're here on a visa, now I don't know if that's right either, but if you're here on a visa, you are subject to the jurisdiction thereof because you're here legally. If you're, and granted, believe me, there is a basically have your baby tourism industry in the United States. I know people have done it. So, but at least they're here legally. Good morning, Puffer Peace Miles. Nice to see you. So that's the big news of yesterday. Now, we're going to hear a lot more about that today, I am sure. All right, let's move on to the normal trending stuff, though. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Gunfox had an article. He didn't drop Hamilton, but you don't have to because you drop Hamiltons all the time. So I'm going to grab this article about is it Myanmar? I don't know how to say it exactly. But hundreds of foreigners freed from Myanmar's scam centers. What? Wait, why were there foreigners? What did they do here? Let's see this. More than 250 people from 20 nationalities who had been working in telecom fraud centers in Myanmar's Karen state have been released by an ethnic armed group and brought to Thailand. The workers, more than half of them who were from African or Asian nations, were received by the Thai army and are being assessed to find out if they were victims of human trafficking. Myanmar? Okay, thank you for the phonetic spelling there, AD. Last week, Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra met Chinese leader Xi Jinping and promised to shut down the scam centers which have proliferated along the Thai-Myanmar border. Her government has stopped access to power and fuel from the Thai side of the border and toughened up banking and visa rules to try to prevent scam operators from using Thailand as a transit country for moving workers and cash. Some opposition MPs in Thailand have been pushing for this kind of action for the past 2 years. Foreign workers are typically lured to these scam centers by offers of good salaries or, in some cases, tricked into thinking they will be doing different work in Thailand, not Myanmar. The scammers look for workers with skills in the languages of those who are targeted for cyber fraud, usually English and Chinese. They are pressed into conducting online criminal activity ranging from love scams known as pig butchering, to crypto fraud, to money laundering and illegal gambling. Some are willing to do the work, but others are forced to stay with release only possible if their families pay large ransoms. Some of those who have escaped have described being tortured. So, if you get one of those scam calls, it might be coming from Myanmar. The released foreign workers were handed down over to the Democratic Karen Benevolent Army, DKBA, one of several armed factions which control the territory inside Karen State. That's a great name. I wonder if there's a bunch of ladies with, reverse bob haircuts and calling managers and shit there. Anyway, so that's Karen State. So yeah, wow. Here's the nationality of the rescued workers. Almost a vast majority of them are from Ethiopia, but Kenya, Philippines, Malaysia, Pakistan, China, Indonesia, Nepal, Taiwan, Laos, Uganda, so and so and so and so. So anyway, so that's interesting. Thank you, Gunfox. Appreciate it. All right, in trending topics today, what do I have? New York, Bondi, we already did it. All right, Munich. Oh, and also, you had that. Here, hang on. You had that too, didn't you, Gunfox? I wanted to use your Munich story. Thank you, Tyler Alexander and Ms. Wildwolf for dropping a let's go in the chat. One here with, is that Jelly Roll? that's that big dude. I don't even know what he does. I know he sings or something. And also Tyler Alexander dropped one here. Ms. Wildwolf. What about Valentine's Day? Wait, what happened to the sanctuary at the sanctuary city? I don't know. All right, let me find this article because this is a little more detailed than the one I have. There it is. In Munich, there was another car ramming through human beings. Not good. Munich is trending because just ahead of J.D. Vance arriving in Munich to negotiate with Zelensky, an Afghan migrant suspect rammed a car through a crowd of people, injuring dozens, including children. This is the fifth mass attack in less than a year in Germany involving a migrant. Leftists there reject the call to deport migrants, saying it's fascist. So here's the article in The Sun. Horror, terror cops probe Munich ram attack that injured 28 people, including children, as Afghan asylum seeker plowed Mini into the crowd, as in a Mini Cooper. Not like Mini Me. A shocking smash comes just before Munich security conference starts on Friday, with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arriving later today. At least 20 people have been injured, including children, after a Mini Cooper drove into a crowd. They have just too many pictures. Here we go. The Mini Cooper is said to have sped up and plowed into the back of around 1,500 Verdi demonstrators, a Berlin-based German trade union in Seidelstrasse in Munich. The minister-president of Bavaria, Markus Söder, labeled the shocking incident as suspected attack. Really? Suspected attack? You don't think someone driving a Mini Cooper through a crowd of 1,500 people is an attack? Like they sped up? What do you mean a suspected attack? Good morning, by the way. On the honorable mention list of favorite Canadians, Special K on acid. Was he driving a Tesla? No, it was a Mini Cooper. So there you go. Let's see. Oh, I didn't really change the pinned tweet here. There's got to be one here. Hang on a second. Here, there. If you want to do super chats today, if you want to contribute to the Marty and Laura anniversary fund, you can give it a link there. There we go. All right. So anyway, the minister. Okay, a suspected attack. Really? This has been happening. This is not the first time. This is not the first rodeo of these. I shouldn't say rodeo references, but anyway. And the state justice minister, George Einzelreich, said a prosecutor's department that investigates extremism and terror was looking into the terrifying case. It's not thought to be connected with the Munich security conference that begins this weekend. Police said the suspect is a 24-year-old Afghan asylum seeker who, the region's interior minister added, was known to cops in relation to drug and theft incidents. News website Spiegel says the suspect is Kabul-born man named Farhad N. Just Farhad N. That's the last name. He is said to have posted Islamist content on social media before the heinous incident. Farhad N. arrived in Germany as an asylum seeker in December 2016 and had his asylum application rejected. He was later granted what's called a toleration permit, which means his deportation was suspended, the website claims. Terrified witnesses said they heard gunshots at the scene, and Munich cops have since confirmed a shot was fired during the arrest. Oh, they got him. They arrested him. At least 2 people are said to be seriously injured, and a 2-year-old has been critically injured. Munich police spokesman Christian Huber has revealed key moments leading to the suspected attack. So, yeah, should we ban Mini Coopers? Hello, Shady Grin. Should we ban Mini Coopers? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Moving on. Gulf of Mexico is trending because, the silliness over Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. I mean, it seems this is like one of the trivial things that I don't know. Is it? I mean, I'm fine if it gets changed to that, but the arguments over it seem so trivial. But here's Hillary Clinton laughed and mocked President Trump when he said he's changed the name of Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Who's laughing now, Hillary Clinton? Oh, by the way, the reason it's trendy, though, because yesterday I told you Google Maps did actually change it on Google Maps, but Apple Maps did not. Well, apparently now Apple has done the same thing. Apple changes Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America on Maps, following Google's lead. So there you go. Suck it, Hillary Clinton. Suck it. There you go. So maybe that's why it's trending. Although some people think it will be called Gulf of America. Yeah, it's still Gulf of Mexico. It will be called X, Elon Musk. Yeah, it's still Twitter. Well, people call it X now. Never mind Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. Who remember when Beyonce was black? Oh, what the hell? What are people doing that for? But Encyclopedia Britannica, though, has announced they made a point to announce that Encyclopedia Britannica will continue to use Gulf of Mexico for a few reasons. We serve an international audience, a majority of which is outside the U.S. The Gulf of Mexico is an international body of water, and the U.S. authority to rename it is ambiguous. Oh, really? Oh, it's a thread. They put a whole thread about this. It has been called the Gulf of Mexico for more than 425 years. Well, you know, I could name about 40 countries that have changed their names in that time, maybe even more than that, way more than that. President Trump has also signed an executive order to change the name of the Alaska mountain called Denali back to its former name, Mount McKinley. When the change is made official by the U.S. Board of Geographic Names, we will also make that change, just as we did in 2015 when President Barack Obama changed the name of McKinley to Mount Denali. Anyway, here's a map from our first edition in 1768. Well, now look, I'm going to bet you that if you look at their map from their first edition in 1868, I can guarantee that half of those countries have a different name now. I bet more than half, because there's a lot of things have changed. Like there wasn't even an India in 1768. That's why I always laugh, because now, remember. Okay, this is an aside. I'm just going to do this aside. So you know how people get really annoyed about people calling Native Americans Indians? It's because Christopher Columbus thought he was in India. India didn't exist in 1492. The reason they're called Indians is because of there's an Italian term, something, indios. People of something. Anyway, indios. It's something people love or some shit like that, right? That's why they called them Indians. Because India did exist. At the time, India was, I think, Hindustan up until almost like around isn't that I think it was until the 1840s or something like that. I can't remember. So it had nothing to do with India. So being Native Americans called India. So I digress. All right. Oh, we have our first sponsor today. Good. Thank you, Gunfox 61. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Dropping a hell to North European news, an attack in France. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? I'm going to put this next to the German one. There was a grenade attack in a French bar. What the hell? 12 people have been injured after a grenade was thrown into a busy bar in the French city of Grenoble. Local authorities have said the incident happened at the Akshir bar shortly after 8 o'clock local time. They got 2000 hours. That'd be 8 o'clock evening time. On Wednesday evening, leaving 2 people in critical condition. The motive for the attack is not clear, but investigators say it may be linked to a settling of scores. Prosecutor Francois Tourette at Sucier said eyewitnesses' accounts suggest the suspect, who is yet to be identified, may have been carrying a Kalashnikov assault rifle also. Did they really need to say a Kalashnikov assault rifle? I mean, a Kalashnikov. It's a whatever. Hello, shrapnel, by the way. And Darren Root. Speaking to reporters at the scene, he said there's nothing to make us think it's linked to terrorism, describing the incident as an act of extreme violence. So it's not linked to terrorism. It just happened someone walking around with a Kalashnikov and a grenade. A fucking grenade? Okay, I guess. Yes, an AK. So he added that investigators were looking into possible connections to drug trafficking. Authorities said many people were at the venue located in the city's Olympic Village neighborhood where the suspect briefly entered. Some 80 firefighters and police officers were deployed to the scene, with the area remained cordoned off on Thursday morning. French paper Le Figaro reports. Deputy Mayor Chloe Pantel told the AFP news agency that the venue was a spot where locals and people from outside the neighborhood gather, especially to watch football matches. Police presence in the area will remain for a while. And posting on X, Mayor Eric Piolle condemned what he described as a criminal act of extraordinary violence before thanking rescue and security forces for their rapid intervention. So, thankfully, only 12 were injured, not killed, but there you go. All right, let's move this over. Oh, I had another article on this, so that's the one you gave me on there. All right, moving on. We talked about Gulf of Mexico. Ukraine is trending now. Apparently, so we talked about or mentioned that J.D. Vance is on his way to Munich for a talks with Vladimir Zelensky. Apparently, President Trump has been conversing with Vladimir Putin, and they're talking about possibly having a peace deal between the two. Zelensky the other day said that he's ready to have peace talks. He wants to make a deal with maybe some land exchange with Russia. And this was before President Trump talked to Vladimir Putin. And a lot of people are saying that Trump is capitulating to Putin, whatever. Somebody there, if Trump shows it was always easy to end the Ukraine war, this is Scott Adams saying, and things are heading that way, whatever is left of the Democratic base will collapse. So a lot of people are criticizing Trump because he spoke with Vladimir Putin, right? And somehow all these people are saying that Donald Trump capitulated, is going to give up land, give up Ukraine, whatever. Here's one of these what do you call it? The Democratic influence accounts, call to activism, who says this: wow, Trump suggests that since Russia fought for that land in Ukraine and lost a lot of soldiers doing it, that Russia should keep it. What a piece of shit. And let's see what Trump's actual words were. And if it may sound like that, because again, a lot of these people will cut off clips, not in context, but let's see what the words that this person clipped out were.
Do you see any future in which Ukraine returns to its pre-2014 borders?
Well, I think Pete said today that that's unlikely, right? It certainly would seem to be unlikely.
Now, one of the reasons it'd be unlikely, remember the 2014 borders, that would include Crimea, right? That was lost under Barack Obama. Okay, so remember that. Because remember, what did Obama do about that? They didn't do shit. So the 2014 borders would be Crimea and the Donbass region. So that's the question. So he's answering that question. Keep that in mind because of what this poster said. Oh, this piece of shit said they fought for it, whatever.
Took a lot of land and they fought for that land and they lost a lot of soldiers, but it would just seem to me, and I'm not making an opinion on it, but I've read a lot on it, and a lot of people think that that's unlikely.
So, again, Trump just talks off the cuff. Probably this is not an official policy. But someone here said, Trump says Ukraine may be Russia someday. Eyes mineral resistance against Zelensky Vance meeting. And here's Mike Pence chirping in because this is CBS News reporting this. Now, I just anything I read in the news anymore is a grain of salt. But Mike Pence says, Mr. President, Ukraine will only be Russian someday if the United States abandons them to Putin's brutal invasion. As you just said, when America is strong, the world is at peace. Stand firm. If Ukraine fails, it will be only a matter of time until Russia invades NATO, our NATO ally. Our troops will be required to defend. The other thing, the question that came up, some reporter asked something about Ukraine becoming a member of NATO, and the president said, no, very unlikely. And in fact, here is Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth on that very subject of whether or not Ukraine will join NATO. And there's a reason probably that we shouldn't have Ukraine join NATO that makes sense based on past treaties that we've already been kind of capitulating on. Listen.
The United States does not believe that NATO membership for Ukraine is a realistic outcome of a negotiated settlement.
No, because
instead, any security guarantee must be backed by capable European and non-European troops.
European troops, yeah, because it's in Europe. Why would we do that? Maybe the European Union could have a protection pact for Ukraine. That would make sense, but not NATO. Because we had a treaty when the Russian wall fell, we said NATO's not going to encroach any further onto Russia. But we will make sure that those independent states in between would remain independent of NATO. Well, that didn't last. But now they're talking about putting the main country that borders Russia as a part of NATO. That probably wouldn't sit well with the Russians. That'd be more fighting words. Anyway, let's see what else he says here.
If these troops are deployed as peacekeepers to Ukraine at any point, they should be deployed as part of a non-NATO mission.
Right.
And they should not be covered under Article 5.
What up, Big Dave?
There also must be robust international oversight of the line of contact. To be clear, as part of any security guarantee, there will not be U.S. troops deployed to Ukraine.
Okay, so good. That's the way it should be. But there's a lot of people pissed off about that, saying we're abandoning Ukraine. Here's John Bolton, everyone's favorite mustache. It is unconscionable to allow Russia to assault Ukraine's sovereignty, recruit enemies like North Korea to aid in their fight, and then sell out the Ukrainians by conceding the loss of their territory and NATO security guarantees or membership. No NATO membership for Ukraine. I can't even think straight right now. It pisses me off so bad. By making these and other concessions before negotiations even started, Trump has effectively surrendered to Putin on Ukraine. I warned many times that Trump will favor Russia in negotiations between Zelensky and Putin. Russia's military performance has been miserable, but Trump is vindicating Putin's decision to invade. The harm to U.S. security interests will extend beyond Central Europe, as our adversaries in the Middle East and Indo-Pacific can plainly see. It has come on U.S. leaders to stand unequivocally with Ukraine and whatever NATO allies stick with Kyiv. It is not in our national interest to let the Kremlin's unprovoked aggression against Ukraine prevail. Shame on the Trump administration. Hey, shame on the rest of Europe for not putting their own 2 cents into it. Or maybe they only put 2 cents into it compared to us. I'm sorry, Ukraine, while important to being a buffer between Russia and the rest of Europe, is not our business. It's just not. Now, someone here said CBS News just admitted the bombshell truth about the Ukraine war. Let's see what privately, even Biden officials acknowledge that Ukraine would ultimately have to give up some territory in order to secure a deal to end the war through those Biden officials usually avoided saying out loud. Here's a reporting on CBS News.
Privately, even Biden officials often acknowledge that Ukraine would ultimately have to give up some territory in order to secure a deal to end the war, though those Biden officials usually avoided saying that.
So they've known this all along. And yet they kept sending money, treasure. At least we didn't spill any blood of Americans on this, except for the idiots who volunteered to go over there. Some of the first comment, it's almost as if Biden wanted this war to continue. Maybe he was getting kickback from the money he kept sending them. Who knows? Who knows? That's kind of the Biden family mode of operation, right? Josh Hawley calling for a full audit of Ukraine.
Do you think that America should in some way be reimbursed? If knowing Trump, he's going to try to figure out a way for the American taxpayer to recoup some of the money blown in Ukraine, whether it's some
plus billion
energy situation or deal with Russia or Ukraine, or maybe together, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what ends up happening.
You know what else needs to happen is we need an accounting of every single tax dollar that's been spent over there. Because remember, right now we have zero because Congress never would vote for.
Well, also, not only do we need accounting, because even Zelensky said that all that money that we were supposedly sending to Ukraine, he only knows about a third of it. Where's the rest of it? Where's all the money? That $200 billion. Where'd it go? If Zelensky don't know where it went, of course, he's got some nice houses and some nice fucking cars, and a lot of his generals had houses burned in Malibu, or what? Not Malibu. Malibu and Pacific Palisades. There were apparently 40 generals own homes in California from Ukraine. I don't know if that was a rumor, but where's that money going? It's a lot of fucking money.
An audit of the money, and the White House,
Hell
the
yeah,
Biden White
audit.
House never would do one. We need to know exactly how this money has been spent all these years. And if you think USAID is a corrupt thing, just wait till we see how our money has been spent. We need to know it, and I'm glad the president is going to bring this to a close.
Damn right. Damn right. I mean, they should be constantly auditing it. Now, of course, Joe Walsh, not the good Joe Walsh, not that Joe Walsh, the Joe Walsh who bitches 24/7 on Twitter about Donald Trump, and he of course, Aaron Rupar, this douchebag, posted this. Reporter, do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this peace process? It's an interesting question. I think they have to make peace. That was not a good war to go into. Now, that's a weird way to say that if Donald Trump said that. So let's see exactly what he said.
Do you expect Ukraine?
Say it, what?
Do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this peace process?
It's an interesting question. I think they have to make peace. Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace.
Now, interesting way he clipped that, because is he saying only Ukraine has to make peace, or this war needs to end? Like, of course, they need to be a part of it, and Russia needs to be a part of it. They both need to be a part of it. She asked specifically about Ukraine, so yeah, they have to make peace. Let's see what the rest of this is, because again, these people will take a snippet of an interview to make their point.
I said that was not a good war to go into, and I think they have to make peace. That's what I think.
Why did you decide to provide?
Yeah, again, does he agree? Is he saying both sides go into both, or just he's like Ukraine? Like, is he not blaming it on Ukraine? It was you know how Trump talks in weird big picture talk. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go back and have to go see this entire press conference, so to speak. But again, Joe Walsh, again, none of this is a surprise. He blames Ukraine for the war. He didn't blame Ukraine for the war. He says this is not a good war to get into, and Ukraine also needs to make peace. I don't think he meant just Ukraine needs to make peace, that it's their fault that this war happened. What's this here? Total betrayal. Russia has stolen our homes, separated our families, destroyed our communities, and committed the most awful atrocities, while Trump seems to have given the green light for this act. Well, point made here. It's just awful Trump to have allowed Russia to invade Ukraine under Biden's watch. All right, so there's plenty more in that topic area, but let's move on. Whoopi Goldberg is trending. Now, this will be quick. Apparently Whoopi Goldberg thinks it's appropriate to trash a child. Here's Whoopi Goldberg talking about Elon Musk's son.
So yesterday, Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child.
Now look. Let's just stop right here, because let me finish, and then let me make a point about Whoopi Goldberg. I'm going to let her finish.
And I don't want to hear anyone mess about our names, okay? Okay? Oh. Anywho.
Okay, so she's talking about names. Right. Because, yes, celebrities often have weird names for their kids, right? Frank Zappa's kids said, hold my beer. Yeah, lots of people. Beyonce and Jay-Z, their child, Blue Ivy. What the fuck is that? The celebrities and folks of the melanated variety can come up with a lot of crazy names that don't really have any relation to the motherland. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, now when someone said she spent multiple minutes making fun of Elon's son's name, when your name is literally, well, not literally, I think her actual name is Carol, but Whoopi. You go by Whoopi. But mostly people are just playing this 18-second clip of her making fun of Elon Musk's kid's name. So there you go. Moving on, Mitch McConnell's trending. Now, Mitch McConnell's trending because the Tulsi Gabbard nomination for Nationals, what is it? What is she now? Something director, national security, whatever. Apparently Mitch McConnell was the only Republican who voted against Tulsi Gabbard for director of national intelligence, excuse me. So some people are talking about that. Breaking, Mitch McConnell was the only Republican no vote on Tulsi Gabbard. He has stated he will also vote no on RFK and Kash Patel. Trump won Kentucky by 31 points. Mitch is breaking his oath to his constituents to vote for their interests. Mitch McConnell is a piece of shit. Okay, there you go. Do I need to talk any more about him? Yeah, even Angela Bellincamo, bold lib, says, can we all agree that no one likes Mitch McConnell? Correct? Yes, exactly.
Nobody likes the turtle, Mitch McConnell. And so here's Mitch falling on his ass. But yes, nobody likes Mitch McConnell, and he actually voted for all of these people: Pete Buttigieg and Merrick Garland, and then these two pieces of shit. So, fuck Mitch McConnell. He can go freeze back in Kentucky. I don't think he's going to run again. I hope God. Oh, God, no. I forgot. The reason I was going to do that, yeah, FTG, Mitch, FTG, Joe Walsh. Who else did I talk about here? FTG, Whoopi. It is FTG Thursday, so I figured I'll throw a few of those out. And then also Representative Robert Garcia. Now, I don't know if I showed this clip yesterday of Robert Garcia calling Elon Musk a dick. Here's Robert. This is Robert Garcia. He's a congressman, and I think I may show this clip, but there's more to it now. Here's Robert Garcia.
I want to hear why, but do you think that calling Elon Musk a dick is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government?
Well, he is a dick. And I think he's also harming the American public in an enormous way.
On CNN.
And what I think is really important, and what the American public want, is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future.
Whoa, Robert. Robert, what's with the violent rhetoric? All these Democrats are talking about taking it to the street and fighting them in the streets and fighting here and bringing guns and weapons to a fight and yada, yada, yada. Weren't you the assholes who said that Donald Trump using the word fight on January 6th was inciting violence? And you guys, boy, you got people out there marching the streets and they hear the words bringing some weapons to a fight. They might actually take that literally, and you might cause some people get hurt, and then you'll be responsible for the violence. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I forgot. You're a Democrat. It doesn't count.
For this country, and it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene talks about having decorum, about bipartisanship.
Whoa. Decorum. Yes. Who is that just said that? It's not Noble Nation. Actually, I do love that calling someone a dick can now make it on the air. Progress, folks. Well, yeah, but decorum? Decorum, really? You little bitch.
This is the person that lies more than anybody else in the entire Congress. And so if she is going to make a mockery of hearings, I want to make sure that us as Democrats are bringing that same level of energy. And of course, after those comments, we went into exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do: dismantling the Department of Labor, dismantling the Department of Education, dismantling all of our consumer protection agencies. And so it's all important, but it's also important to get the attention of the American public.
There's something I missed there. I didn't know they were trying to get rid of the Department of Labor. Now, the Department of Education, I knew they were. Anyway, so there you go. That's Robert Garcia. Did I give him an FTG? Well, let's go FTG Robert Garcia. There you go. All right. By the way, now some people are saying incitement. Speaker Johnson needs to hold members of Congress accountable for calling for violence against Trump and members of his administration. Robert Garcia makes it clear he's not speaking in hyperbole. He calls for the actual use of weapons to fight Elon Musk. That's the same clip. So there you go. Another Democrat calling for violence. Gregory Meeks, also in Congress. He's trending for a couple reasons. Apparently, Gregory Meeks, Democrat in New York, just said that Congress created USAID. And actually, that's not true. The USAID was, let's see, in 1961, President Kennedy signed the Foreign Assistance Act into law and created USAID by executive order. So President Trump can't undo any executive order. Democrats keep puking lies. Sad. So let's see, Greg Meeks, betraying generosity of American people. Democrat Gregory Meeks, we don't give you our money, you take it from us. We're not generously giving you anything. Betraying the generosity of American people. I wish I had a clip of him talking, though, because it was, let's see. Oh, well, here he is on, this is talking about the CFPB, which they're dissolving, since there's 17 different regulatory agencies for banks. That is not the clip. Okay, here we go. This is an odd position to take by Democrats, but it's a typical one. Listen to this.
Just this week, President Trump fired USAID's independent inspector general. Just one day after he issued a report showing that the administration's own effort to dismantle USAID is wasting taxpayer dollars and putting our national security at risk.
Huh? What? He's wasting taxpayer dollars by auditing USAID and possibly dumping it? Hello, Don O'Leary. What's up?
That's what's happening. Our national security.
Oh, shoot. What did I do there? There we go.
Security is at risk. And I'm asking unanimous consent to enter that IG report into the record. This committee and the American people deserve to hear from the IG. I would urge you to invite the Inspector General to appear before this committee to tell us about the actual work of addressing waste, fraud, and abuse, if that's what this is really about.
Well, it's clearly, it seems to be, it seems to be what it's about, because they're finding waste, fraud, and abuse. And in fact, I'm curious, Gregory Meeks, by the way, FTG Greg Meeks, I'm curious, how does not funding a trans musical in Paraguay put our national security at risk? How does funneling money that goes back into coffers which were out to impeach President Trump put our national security at risk? How does $50 million in condoms, not in Gaza, Israel, but Gaza, Mozambique, how does that put our national security at risk? I want to know. Can you explain that, Gregory Meeks? Colombia? Oh, Colombia was the Transopera. Well, whatever country it was. It's somewhere south of here. I know that for sure. So I'm just confused, Mr. Meeks, how those things put our national security at risk. Remember, a lot of that money, a lot of that money that USAID was sending out wasn't often was to topple other governments and pay for their color revolutions and propaganda to turn the people against their own governments. So that's a lot of what USAID was doing. What are you talking about? All right, enough about Greg Meeks. Next, Oval Office is trending mostly because two things. One, the Trump in the Oval Office taking questions and Elon Musk, but also because Tulsi Gabbard was confirmed by the United States Senate to be the Director of National Intelligence. And so Meghan McCain is here. Apparently Meghan McCain is buds with Tulsi Gabbard. I had no idea. Meghan McCain says, I am proud, or saying I am proud doesn't do this moment justice. I am so deeply honored and overwhelmed to witness this moment of my friend Tulsi Gabbard being sworn in as our new Director of National Intelligence in the Oval Office. Thank you, POTUS, for including Ben and me. Now this is Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain, who cannot stand Donald Trump. She's thanking the president. Is this the right Meghan McCain? Is it the right Meghan McCain? She's showing a picture, and so the Attorney General is swearing her in and stuff like that, and here's Trump in the Oval Office. Now, some of the replies and I'm shocked that this is Meghan McCain thanking President Trump. There are people who are saying, though, listen to this. Someone here, I'm glad he included you. You've been very critical of Trump, and a lot of conservatives have been critical of you, but Trump is all business. He doesn't harbor grudges. We need more of that in Washington. Yeah, I'm stunned. But this next person says, your dad is rolling over in his grave. I know you want to launch your career, and being a Republican, you have to kiss Trump's ass to do it. But still, your dad would have never backed down. He was a true warrior and patriot. You apparently are neither. He must be so ashamed. Well, fuck you. You don't know what her dad would say. People who write shit like that, oh, yeah, as if you even know anything about my dad. Fuck you. And again, there was times when Meghan McCain was very critical of Tulsi Gabbard. For example, now I don't even know if this looks like a fake tweet to me. But yes, congratulations, Tulsi Gabbard, especially your crossing over America says thank you. Yeah, because remember, Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. In fact, Robert F. Kennedy was a Democrat. And Elon Musk was a Democrat. There's a lot of Democrats in Trump's orbit that have changed their whole perspective. So pretty wild. And then also Oval Office is trending because of the that was the same from yesterday. This was yesterday. Trump's currently giving an impromptu Q&A in the Oval Office, and I spotted an unusual looking pin on his lapel. It's of him. Oh, that's funny. What the hell? An American flag, Donald Trump. Okay, that's weird. And here, again, as far as the condoms, it doesn't matter where they went, whether to Gaza or Mozambique or Timbuktu. Why are we spending $15 million of our money on their condoms? You know, obviously they say, oh, it's to prevent AIDS. Are they even using them as condoms, though? You know, who knows? All right. Next up is, now with this lawsuit in New York, apparently FEMA has reclaimed $80 million in FEMA funds previously allocated for New York City to aid housing migrants. This financial withdrawal has led to legal action by New York City Comptroller Brad Lander, who accuses the administration of illegal seizure. Additionally, Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, Attorney General. X is not keeping up on this. She's not. This is Grok's fault. Attorney General Pam Bondi has initiated legal proceedings against New York State officials over immigration policies, creating a significant legal and political conflict between the state and federal authorities. So New York Mayor Adams asked for emergency meeting with Trump after FEMA cuts $80 million in grant from New York City illegal immigrants.
They give everyone in our care. There's nothing going to change with that. There's a level of consistency, what we have accomplished, and we're going to continue to do that.
But Adams' resolve is already being tested. City Hall confirming that the federal government has now clawed back more than $80 million in FEMA grants the Biden administration awarded the city to house migrants. Adams says that they are requesting an emergency meeting with FEMA and are exploring all legal options.
We have reached out to the White House. We want to find out exactly what took place. It was unfortunate the previous administration left us with a huge price tag, and we want to sit down and explain how we should believe that the cost of the national issue should not be on the back of us.
But immigration is one of the reasons why the Justice Department is asking prosecutors to drop the charges, writing in their memo that Adams' indictment was pulling his focus away from issues like illegal immigration and crime.
Yeah, they did pull that indictment against Eric Adams too, at least on a without prejudice basis, so it could come back later. But because they felt it was a political prosecution, because Adams bucked the Biden administration and started questioning the Biden administration on all these illegal immigrants, that's when they seemed to have retaliated using some lawfare. And so it seemed it had the smell of a political prosecution.
Coincidentally, Trump's border czar Tom Homan is meeting with Adams in the city on Thursday. But Adams' attorney Alex Spiro insists that Adams never promised anything in order to get these charges dropped.
Of course not. That's absurd. There is no looming threat. This case is over. This case will never be brought back. It wasn't a real case in the first place.
Okay, interesting. They say it won't be brought back unless, of course, Adams does things favorable to Trump, and if a Democrat comes into office, a new attorney general will probably bring back the charges because, that's how they do it. Reuters is also in the news. Reuters apparently, now this is, or at least it's trending. Someone says, so this is let's look at this chain of events here. And this person says, I can't believe how good this timeline is. Follow this chain of events. Reuters writes a hit piece against Doge and probably Elon Musk, okay? Musk tweets, quote, I wonder what Reuters are being paid. Doge uncovers Department of Defense contract paying Reuters for large-scale social deceptions. Now, it's insane that this is playing out. So here's what happens. Reuters puts this piece. Doge cuts based more on political ideology than real cost savings so far, written by Tim Reed, Helen Koster, James Oliphant. Here's Elon Musk. I wonder how much Reuters is getting from the government. DOD, the Department of Defense, paid Reuters $9 million for social engineering program. Doge investigations reveal mysterious Defense Department payments to Reuters for, quote, large-scale social deception project between 2018 and 2022. While DARPA claims it was for cyber defense, questions swirl about why a news agency received millions of dollars for, quote, social engineering. And this is not just a euphemism. Here's the Department of Defense spending. Okay, awarding agency, Department of Defense. Thomson Reuters Special Services. Okay. Parent award key update. Where is it? Right here. Description. COVID-19 spending, active social engineering, defense, large-scale social deception. What? What does that mean? What does that mean? Tons of people talking about this. MSNBC care to comment. So 911, Reuters was paid millions of dollars by the U.S. government for, quote, large-scale social deception. This is literally what it says on the purchase order. Now we know why the left is in total panic mode. The walls are closing in. So some people in the Department of Defense and Reuters got some splaining to do. I'm just saying. All right, real quick, let's move on. Next, impeach is trending now. This is now being that it's Donald Trump in office, you'd think that the word impeach would be focused on Donald Trump because, he got impeached a couple times by the assholes over in the Democratic side. But no, this is not about Donald Trump getting impeached. This is about the possibility of impeaching an activist judge. So here, reminder to Democrats, this is Jesse Kelly. Trump 45 was a puppy dog who walked into office ready to make deals with you and govern from the middle, but you couldn't control your demonic urges. You had to impeach him and shoot him, and now you get what you get. Don't throw a fit. Okay, that's not related to that. But then also they're talking about, impeaching judges. So apparently this judge, by the way, impeach this activist posing as judge, such a person does great discredit to the American justice system. So here, this judge that blocked some of Trump's actions, the Obama-appointed judge that threatened the Trump administration with arrest if funding was not restored to USAID, previously likened Trump's first term to the Civil War and Jim Crow and compared Trump to a tyrant in 2021 in a 2021 video uncovered by Natalie G. Winters. Judge McConnell is an activist who has no business sitting in judgment of the president's administration. So let's listen to what this judge was saying about Donald Trump in 2022. This is amazing. Good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. What's up? Here's this judge that blocked the USAID choices that the Trump administration's made.
So, what's happened over the last 4 years or so, and at other times in our country's history, going back to, the Civil War and Reconstruction and Jim Crow laws, the civil rights, and during the last 4 years, is that the values that we live by, the constitutional values that...
Okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to give him a little bit of grace here until I hear otherwise in this little montage, because I haven't listened to this yet. He wasn't comparing the Trump administration, at least in that part of the sentence. Let's see if he does later in this. It's 2 minutes long. So far, I don't think he's comparing the Trump administration to the Civil War. He's just talking going back to that era. But let's see where he goes with this.
That form the basis of our country have been tested, and our institutions have been tested in ways that I don't think a lot of folks thought would survive. It got tested in the 1800s by a war.
Maybe he is making a comparison.
And we survived the war.
But not in the way that they said.
Sometimes well and sometimes not so well, but that's for another story. So what we saw the last 4 years, in my mind, was a new testing of it. And how I think about it is, it's like a balloon, and you're blowing up a balloon and you keep pushing that air in. Well, at some point the balloon's going to pop, right? And it feels like over the last 4 years, with the challenges that have occurred to the rule of law.
It's funny. I don't know why. This is back in 2021, right? So right after Biden got in office. And he's saying that the whole last 4 years was a test. Well, how so? Really, what did Trump do? I mean, he followed his policies. He did what he was going to do. But what was it that was crazy about it, other than at COVID, which happened, which is not his fault. It just came, and there's a lot of stuff that was tough because of that. And I'm sure he's having some reference to January 6th here, but that was at the very end of his term. But other than fighting with Congress over a lot of shit and all the bullshit about the Russia thing, none of that was Trump's. That chaos was not because of Trump. That was directed at Trump. Trump did his job, did work, tried to get the things done he said he wanted to get done. Those are exterior of Trump, not Trump. So I'm not sure what he's talking about here.
Country that we came very close to that balloon popping, but where courts stand and enforce the rule of law, that is against arbitrary and capricious actions by what could be a tyrant or could be whatnot. We saw plenty of examples of that recently.
Oh, really?
and it enforces our values in a legal sense, the Constitution. And it's that reason that and
no, it's also funny too. Trump always went along with what the courts did. He worked around whatever the courts did. If they did a ruling against him, he abided by it. If Congress did not fund something that he wanted, he found other ways to fund it that were legal. They stayed within the parameters of the law almost always. Well, always, I would say. So I'm not sure what he's talking about here.
And we saw, and there are plenty of examples over history, and there's plenty of examples over the last 4 years through government actions. When you're sentencing someone, when we talk about sentencing, that you have to take a moment and realize that this, middle-class white male, privileged person needs to understand the human being that comes before us, that maybe a woman, and maybe black, maybe transgender, maybe poor, maybe rich, maybe whatever, may have experiences that aren't yours, and you have to walk in their shoes and understand that the law applies to them where they are, and then you have to apply the law accordingly.
No. What do you mean accordingly? It should be applied the same. What are you talking about? What does he mean by the law should be applied accordingly? Is that what he said? I'm not sure if that's what he meant. But the law be applied based on what your demographic is and your experience? No, the law just needs to be applied evenly. Interesting.
So,
okay, so whatever he meant there. But anyway, they're talking about impeaching this judge because he's an anti-Trump ideologue. In case you're having trouble keeping up, here's a summary. Trump, I'm cutting wasteful spending by our government. Democrats, impeach him. We told you that Trump would be a dictator on day one. Elon, we are $36 trillion in debt. Let's find ways to cut our government spending. Democrats, no one voted for Elon Musk. RFK Jr., I want to make America healthy again. Democrats, what? No, you can't do that. Trump, I will be putting a 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada for refusing to work with America to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs coming into our country. Democrats, what the fuck? America will now have to pay higher prices for avocados and Coronas. Tulsi Gabbard, we should discuss the U.S. Department of Defense funded biolabs in Ukraine. Democrats, oh, hell no. Tulsi is Putin's puppet. Trump, I am deporting criminals who are in our country illegally. Democrats, who will pick our crops? RFK Jr., I want to put an end to the rise of chronic diseases in children. Democrats, hey, dummy, that is literally Big Pharma's job. Trump, we should look into ending all income taxes on tips and overtime and Social Security. Democrats, what the fuck? What about egg prices? Elon Musk, we should investigate how members of Congress are making making low-end six-figure salaries become multimillionaires. Democrats, panic! Billionaire Musk will have access to your home address and Social Security number. Hexeth, we shouldn't spend billions protecting foreign borders while completely ignoring our own. Democrats, what about egg prices? Okay, yeah, that goes on and on. That's a funny one there. Anyway, all right. That's enough about that. So that was impeach. All right, let's get into a couple articles, then I got to get out of here. Oh, by the way, I got to check out this breaking news that someone just put in the chat. Let me check here. Tina Smith. Looks like one of my senators has announced she will not be running again. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's going to go right in the front here. My Senator Tina Smith, one of my senators in Minnesota, says she has decided not to run for re-election. Let's hear. This is breaking news. As of 19 minutes ago, she just posted this on X, app formerly known as Twitter.
I wanted you to hear directly from me that I have decided not to run for re-election.
Yes! Yes!
I have loved my job
as
United States Senator. And also, after 20 years of hard and rewarding work in the public sector, I'm ready to spend more time with my family. You know, when I...
Okay, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. If something's going down with Tina Smith. Hi, Now What Studios, my dear friend Wu from high school. What's up? POTUS gives press conferences. Yes, this POTUS seems to be doing them every day. Tina Smith stepping
When I
down.
first came to the Senate, I didn't have any grandchildren, and now Archie and I have 4, and our sons, Sam and Mason, and daughters-in-law, Emily and Julia, are now all living in Minneapolis.
Oh, she got busted? Where'd you send it to me?
My
What platform did you send it to me?
turning
Woo.
95 this summer, and I am blessed to have a large extended family of siblings and nieces and nephews. And one of my great joys is to know that I have time to spend more time with them, doing
yes, it's always to spend more time with family. Woo, what platform did you send it to me?
sleepovers and helping out from time to time when the kids need me. So this decision is not political.
IG, okay, we'll find it right now.
Personal. But it's not lost on me that our country is in need of strong progressive leadership right now, maybe more than ever.
And
so there are 2 things.
You know who's going to run for this? I guarantee you, I know who's going to run for it. Probably Keith Ellison. He's the only, either that. Oh, wait, no, wait a minute. Or Coach Wall. There might be a Democratic primary, because I don't think I don't know that Tim Wall could win either way, but I could see Tim Wall running for the Senate. I could see Keith Ellison running for the Senate. And I just see who did hang on a second. Well, let me finish this.
My mind about this. The first is that I have nearly 2 full years left in my Senate term, and I plan to use every single day working as hard as I can to represent your interests in the United States Senate. And
No, you don't, Tina. Tina, you literally vote for whatever all the other Democrats vote for, and you don't base it on anything other than that.
Sure that your voices are heard. And also, since I don't have to worry about running a re-election campaign, I can focus entirely on this job right now.
Yeah, but you're
we
the
have a
junior
deep
senator
bench of political talent in Minnesota, a group of leaders that are more than ready to pick up the work and carry us forward. And I'm excited to make room for them to move forward.
Yeah.
At the end.
And again, I'm going to guess, we don't have to watch the rest of her. I'm going to guess it's going to be, in the Democratic side, either Keith Ellison or Tim Wall. Let's see here. I'm going to find this article here real quick. Let's check here. Oh, no, messages. Let's, what did she get busted for? Oh, come on. Come on, Internet. Let's do this thing. Here we go. Oh, not in Threads. Don't care. Not in Threads. No, that's it. I don't want it. I want it in Instagram. Here we go. There you are. Oh, okay. Let's hang on a second. I'm going to pause this. Here is this may be it right here.
Meet Tina, a senator from Minnesota. Just disclosed a new $100,000 buy-in to the medical devices company Tactile Systems. Now this $100,000 trade caught our eye because she literally sits on the Senate Health Committee, which probably is a conflict of interest. Tactile Systems literally is headquartered in Minnesota, which coincidentally turns out to be her home state. Again, maybe a conflict of interest. But it's okay. If the company is a big brand name, it probably can't be that suspicious. Well, it's not, because it only has a market cap of $400 million. Now the stock is up 6% today, but regardless, we wanted to flag it for you all as soon as possible. And it's our way to keep pushing forward our mission of trying to get them banned from stock trading. Since they've taken so long, we'll keep building our startup, Autopilot, which is the first way to invest alongside their stock trades.
Oh, okay. So that's a company that does, they basically give you an opportunity to trade just like the people in Congress by tracking their trades, and they put out alerts on what Congress people are trading. So that'll be interesting if that's some insider trading stuff on Tina Smith. I guess I'm also curious, though. Let's see. Tina Smith. If there's anything in the news other than Clover Smith, Tina Smith calling one dash Doge. Okay, it doesn't show up here. So she just announced that about a half hour ago. Real quick. Now, oh, by the way, there's a very good chance Royce White will run for the United States Senate from Minnesota again. And outstate Minnesota really came in for Royce White. The fact that, usually in Minnesota, Democrats have a huge advantage. But I think Amy Klobuchar had about 1.8 million votes, just under that. And Royce White had 1.3 million votes, which, he lost by a lot of votes. But that is probably the closest Minnesota Senate race in, I'd say 20 years, as far as not having a Democrat senator from Minnesota. So yeah, the last one was it. I want to say Norm Macdonald. I can't remember Norm, the former mayor of St. Paul, was a Republican, but he was kind of a squishy Republican at that. But it'd be interesting to see how this is going with Tina dropping out in 26, the U.S. Senate race in Minnesota in 26. We might get a Republican in there. We just might. So, also breaking news. Thank you, Jaeger Pony. Looks like RFK Jr. has been confirmed. Let's see, RFK. Here's breaking news. RFK is confirmed as of 5 minutes ago. Here's the live on the Senate floor, or was live on the Senate floor. 51 yays, 47 nays. So RFK Jr. is the next Secretary of Health and Human Services. So this is clearly an AI video of him dancing down a runway here. That's kind of funny. So there you go. RFK has been officially confirmed as President Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services. So, Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Kash Patel's next, and it sounds like he's going to be confirmed too. So Donald Trump is getting his picks in the articles today that I'm not obviously going to get to. Apparently, some of the neocons are clutching pearls as Doge sets sight on globalist National Endowment for Democracy. Neoconservative advocates of global democracy promotion are up in arms over the Department of Government Efficiency's move to freeze funds for the National Endowment for Democracy. Eli Lake, writing to Barry Weiss's Free Press, contends that the NED is a key U.S. instrument for supporting grassroots freedom movements around the world. It's under siege by Doge. Wait a minute. Wait. Did you hear that sentence? Did you catch that? NED, a key U.S. instrument for supporting grassroots freedom movements around the world. Are they always supporting freedom movements? In halting NED's funding, Lake argues the Trump administration would be signaling that it no longer believes that promoting democracy around the globe is in the national interest. Lake's essay was echoed on X by the Free Press founder Barry Weiss, prompting a snarky response from Doge chief Elon Musk. What did NED get done last week? Musk wrote in a reply to Weiss. Established in 1983 during Ronald Reagan's presidency, the NED is supposedly an independent nonprofit that claims to be dedicated to bolstering democratic institutions worldwide. It allocates over 2,000 grants annually for non-governmental group initiatives across more than 100 countries, primarily funded by U.S. government allocations through Congress. Many allege it squanders funds on undermining conservative governments in allied nations such as Hungary while boosting leftist media and politicians. That's what they really do. Similar allegations have been leveled against the United States Agency for International Development, with President Trump moving essentially to abolish the agency last week. Yeah, the way it works, government bureaucrats generally support leftist candidates in elections in other parts of the world. That's what they do. Apparently now a federal judge has allowed Trump to push forward with buyouts for the government workers after 75,000 have accepted their offers. On Wednesday, a judge declined to pause the Trump administration's buyout program for government workers, giving President Trump a key win in his push to shrink the size of the federal government. U.S. Judge George A. O'Toole ruled that union groups suing to block the so-called deferred resignation program lacked standing, and that his Massachusetts-based court lacked the jurisdiction to proceed with the lawsuit. So that's good news for the Trump administration. Also, Mexico has authorized use of U.S. Special Forces in Mexico. Mexico making further overtures to avert President Donald Trump's imposition of tariffs on exports to America in their latest move at President Claudia Sheinbaum's urging. The Mexican Senate approved on Tuesday the entry of U.S. Special Forces groups into the country, ostensibly to train Mexico Marines as part of a strengthening capacity of Special Operation Forces of the Navy program. The training arrangement, which was approved by unanimous vote, will see a contingent of U.S. military personnel serving as advisors and trainers for the Mexico Marine Forces with a special force focus on combating the country's drug cartels. Uh-oh. Are they about to do something there? Who knows? Now, that's obviously not authorizing them to do their normal operations in Mexico, but just to train Mexican Marines to do that. But that is interesting. We'll see how that goes. In Daily Caller, meet the worst criminals ICE has arrested this week so far. Is there a list here? Oh, here we go. Here's a few. Make America Safe Again. Sergio Archimedes Pineda, an MS-13 gang member and aggravated felon, was arrested by ICE in Corpus Christi on February 10th. He was convicted of assault causing bodily injury. Pineda is in ICE custody for removal. Let's see. Ciro Teodoro Rivera, a Mexican national and registered sex offender, was arrested by ICE in Cincinnati on February 10th. Prior convictions, sexual imposition and aggravated assault. He illegally re-entered the U.S. without being admitted. And there he is again. Here's one, Jose Miguel Perez, a Mexican national, was arrested by ICE Chicago on February 10th. Conviction, sexual assault of a child. Perez was sentenced to 6 months in jail. Sent his ass home. So anyway, there's a few of those coming up, and I suppose the Daily Caller is going to be doing that feature for a while. Also, apparently, maybe not directly, but USAID apparently funded Hamas. There's a big article in City Journal about this. The most striking aspect of President Donald Trump's dismantling of the United States Agency for International Development isn't that unsavory aid recipients have misused taxpayer dollars. It's that anyone is shocked by the revelation of waste, fraud, and abuse. After all, watchdog groups have sounded the alarm for years about misuse of USAID funds. So rather than being used to provide humanitarian aid and stabilize conflict-ridden regions, in accordance with USAID's stated goal, American funds have often been funneled into corrupt Hamas-tied institutions with minimal oversight. A new multi-year study of USAID by the Middle East Forum identified $164 million in grants to radical organizations, including $122 million to those aligned with designated terrorists and their supporters. Is anybody shocked? Anybody shocked? Not me. You can read the whole article in City Journal. And also, what's his name? Mfumi. Well, another House Democrat calls for a street fight against Trump. These violent Democrats. Less than 2 weeks ago, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, a Democrat, called upon people to fight the extreme MAGA Republican agenda, not just legislatively and in the courts, but in the streets. The Trump White House has demanded that Jeffries apologize for inciting violence, and of course, Jeffries did not do so. And now, yet another House Democrat has said much the same thing that Jeffries said. Do these people want to incite a new civil war? If they don't, they certainly seem to be like playing with rhetorical fire. Fox News reported that Representative Kwesi Mfume, I can't remember, Democrat from Maryland, longtime leftist leader who was first elected to the House in 1987, left in 1996 to become president of the NAACP, and returned to the House in 2020, spoke at a rally in Baltimore on Monday. Mfume railed against Elon Musk's effort to end waste and fraud in the government. Why are they so against ending waste and fraud in the government? And called the Department of Government Efficiency the Department of Government Evil. Now, having worked himself up into a fine froth, Mfume thundered, "This will be a congressional fight, a constitutional fight, a legal fight, and on days like this, a street fight. Yes, we will stand." It was remarkable how closely his words aligned with those of Jeffries. It's hard to escape the impression that Democrat leadership in the House really wants to see people becoming violent in opposition to Trump policies. Ding! There's more, but you can read it yourself. New York Post, Democrats have exhausted the last of their credibility with a false Trump constitutional crisis. Well, the constitutional crisis now is the courts. Oh, yeah, FTG to Kwesi Mfume. The courts are creating a constitutional crisis because these, let's just say, wayward judges are making some decisions that probably are constitutionally dubious. 40 years ago, radio personality coined the phrase "jump the shark" in reference to the episode sitcom Happy Days, in which the character Fonzie jumps over a live shark on water skis. The term is often applied to dying franchises that turn sensational language or scenes to try to revive a fading interest of the public. More often, you jump the shark and land in utter obscurity. This week, Democratic Party jumped the shark. For years, Democrats and their allies pushed the absurd claim that democracy was about to die if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris was not elected president through a democratically sanctioned election. The public wasn't buying it. In 2024, Donald Trump won a majority of voters as well as control of both houses of Congress. Rather than examine its messaging, Democrats decided to double down. After the election, the politicians and pundits announced a new constitutional crisis surrounding the effort to downsize the federal government, led by Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency. Chris Mays, attorney for the General of Arizona, declared this week, quote, "We are on the brink of a dictatorship, and America has never been a more dangerous position than she is today." Ooh, why did she gender America? Same media that carried the breathless accounts of imminent death of democracy within the last election are now running constitutional crisis articles with many of the same experts. Despite Trump repeating that he will abide by the courts while opposing decisions, NPR insisted that Trump's circle has indicated that it is willing to ignore the court orders and defy judicial authority. Oh, you mean like Joe Biden did with student loans? He laughed at the courts about that. Said, I did it anyway. The fact is that we have the oldest and most stable constitutional system in history, and it has repeatedly survived challenges from political and economic meltdowns that would have often destroyed other systems. That Madisonian system relies on an independent judiciary, including Trump appointees, who regularly ruled against the Trump administration, including the Supreme Court. For many citizens, what is most striking is not Trump's actions, but how Democrats are seeking to prevent the very reforms that a majority of voters supported. And it goes on and on. I'm talking about one of our congressmen from here in Minnesota, but just showing how Democrats are just losing their minds, and Trump's approval ratings keeps going up for what they're doing. People are liking this shit, and the Democrats aren't seeing it. And for some reason, they think that they are still in power, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating. It's a great article. Other ones, Elizabeth Warren and Democrats suddenly believe in the legitimacy of court rulings again because of Trump. Remember, because they were talking about how, this is an illegitimate court. This is an illegitimate court. And again, she's emphasizing constitutional crisis. You can read that one on your own. Breitbart, Ann Coulter, if it please the court, who the hell asked you? Is this? Oh, it's written by Ann Coulter. Just the headline here is Democrats, those stalwart champions of democracy who tried to keep Donald Trump off the ballot, have an endlessly malleable understanding of whose views prevail whenever disputes arise between any combination of Congress, the courts, the president, the states. It's almost as if they decide based not on any fixed principle, but by whose side they take. Well, that sounds familiar. When Joe Biden was president, he openly defied Supreme Court rulings and bragged about doing so, despite the court repeatedly telling him that he had no authority to forgive student loans. He kept doing it. The Supreme Court blocked it, he said, but that didn't stop me. No complaints from the left for that when Barack Obama was president. Federal control of immigration was absolute. Arizona was said to be prohibited from following the federal law because the president had not decided not to follow the law. Suddenly, every Democrat was talking about the supremacy clause and claiming Arizona had been overtaken by Nazis. Eventually, the Supreme Court upheld Arizona's so-called Papers, Please law, and the hysterics, confident that no one would remember their smug assurances that the law was unconstitutional, went right back to uttering their weighty pronouncements. But when Trump was abiding by federal law and issuing what liberals called the Muslim ban, so-called, that oddly enough never even mentioned Muslims, district courts and Trump's own acting attorney general decided their interpretation of a president's duties should prevail over his. They were heroes, at least until the Supreme Court upheld Trump's non-Muslim, not mentioning Muslim ban. Seems that so there's examples of this all over. When it's in their favor, oh, the courts are great. Yes, that's great. When it's not in their favor, we need to stack the court. That's the gist of it. So just all kinds of examples throughout this article. Daily Caller. Leftist latest tax on Clarence Thomas, maybe their most absurd yet. Oh, what are they complaining about now? Oh, yesterday, Vice President Vance was out of town, so Justice Clarence Thomas performed Sean's official swearing in. He spent so much time with our family in his chamber telling our kids about his childhood and the series of miracles in his life that led to becoming a Supreme Court judge. So this was Sean Duffy's wife, and he was nice to them because look, everyone who talks about Justice Thomas on a personal level, like he was really good friends with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, not like Scalia was, but they were nice, and all the other members of the court talk about how nice Clarence Thomas is. He knows everybody's names. He knows all their staffers' names. He's a really cool dude. But then the leftists get all pissed off because he's not doing what he's supposed to do as a black man. He's just not doing what he's supposed to do. And they just bitch and moan and try to pretend that he's the most scandalous person ever. So apparently, CNN host Dana Bash was annoyed that President Donald Trump asked Thomas to swear in several of his nominees, including Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy and Attorney General Pam Bondi. Please raise your right hand. And again, Bash said, that's what we heard from Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who's emerging as the go-to justice to swear in Donald Trump's cabinet, overseeing ceremonies at the Supreme Court and the White House, and even at his own home, while he and his wife, longtime conservative activists, are drawing exceptional attention from President Trump. Not that there's anything untoward about that. Then why are you bringing it up? Not that there's anything wrong with it. Why are you bringing it up? Dummies. Anyway, they're bitching about him doing that. Daily Wire, just talking about the judges that are attempting to take over the executive branch and probably will fail in the long run. So, good article there. Google removed Black History Month and Pride Month from the calendar app? I don't understand. Why? They still exist. Google has removed references to Black History Month and LGBT Pride Month from its calendar platform, stating that it has returned to showing only public holidays, national observances from timeanddate.com globally, while allowing users to manually add other important moments. So they don't have Black. Okay. I guess that's their prerogative, isn't it? Oh no, that's going to piss off people. I got several other articles, but I don't have time. I apologize. Everything we do here will be in the links today. I'll drop those in there, but I can't do this any longer because I'm going to be late. Be late for a very important date. No time to say goodbye. Hello, goodbye. I'm late. All right. So guys, that's it for today. I want to thank you for being here. Guess what? Tomorrow is Friday, and we're going to be back doing, what we do on Fridays. It's Free for All Friday and Friday Q&A. So there you go. So here are today's links. They will also be in the description in this video and this stream. So if you can't find them from the chat or you don't click them now, you'll still be able to come back and get them again. I hope that you all have a fantastic motherfucking day. That's it. I got to go. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Boom. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.